And welcome back to the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Sterling and Tom Crane, coming to you live from Portland, Oregon and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's 4:26 Pacific time, 7:26 on the East Coast. We have a lot to talk about. First off, it's been a long time, mainly because our friend Micah was out here visiting in Portland a couple weeks ago, so we got to enjoy him. Didn't have a lot to talk about another week, and then I had my wisdom teeth taken out last week, so it's been a busy couple weeks. That being said, so much on the plate the last 3 weeks. The game 5 last night, what a game it was. 129-120 Golden State Warriors clinched their second NBA title in 3 years. Kevin Durant scoring 30 points in each of the 5 games, named MVP of the NBA Finals. First MVP in his first year with a team since Moses Malone with the 76ers in 1983, and third overall to do it along with Magic Johnson, who was a rookie with the Lakers when they won it all in 1980. So he's in good company. What that means, Golden State accomplished what they wanted to do, go 16-1 in the NBA playoffs, second title in 3 years. As I mentioned, can they do it again? We'll talk about that. Also, LeBron. Look, he averaged a triple-double, the first player to average a triple-double in the NBA Finals. How does this affect his legacy after him going down in 5 games and going down to 3-5 all-time NBA Finals? 7th appearance in a row, by the way. Next season's predictions. Aaron Judge moving out of baseball, the MVP right now. He's killing it. And I don't mean just killing the fastball. I mean killing it in all aspects of his game. Is he the new face of the Yankees? Probably. Is he the MVP? We'll talk about that. What happened with Colin Kaepernick in Seattle? There was a lot of conversation about that over the last couple weeks. Is he being blackballed in the NFL? We'll talk about that. The Champions League final happened, and Real Madrid won 4-1 over Juventus. What a game it was for them. But they're going to regroup and reload because that's what Real Madrid does. And one of the names on the list is 18-year-old sensation Kylian Mbappe from Monaco. Is he going to go? Number one, reports are saying that the Real Madrid have already been denied the bid by Monaco, even if it's at $100 million or $130 million. Could he start? We'll make the scenario. Could he start at Real Madrid if he left for the summer? USA-Mexico World Cup qualifiers. And final topics, again, Tommy, I don't know what yours is going to be. We have the whole show to decide. But I'm going to be talking about Keylor Navas, the goalkeeper for Costa Rica, and how I think he's the most influential player in Central America over the last 30 years. But again, we haven't talked to each other in a while. So Tommy, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty well. Since we last talked, I have moved into my new home in Mannheim and am currently still sick with a sinus infection. So you haven't missed much.
The damn sinuses. Kill it every time. Anyway, feel better though. We'll get through this. We'll get through this other episode of the podcast, and we're not too far away from 1,000, guys. We are so close. So just click play, click listen. So we're very close to 1,000. We'll get right to it. Game 5 last night, 129-120, Golden State defeating Cleveland. It was a pretty close game back and forth. Cleveland winning the first quarter, and up until last night, every team that has won the first quarter has won the game. And so you'd think, yes, okay, well, Cleveland can get this to 3-2. And then Golden State went on a run at the end of the second half to go up 11, I believe, at halftime. And then it was just Kevin Durant against LeBron James with some appearances by, of course, Andre Iguodala, Steph Curry, and even Klay had a couple buckets in the game. Now, when Kevin Durant moved from Oklahoma City to Golden State, the expectation was championship or bust. You're losing a player like Harrison Barnes and that went to Dallas. You're losing a lot of key bench players because of the contract that Kevin Durant demands. So you replaced about a really good team to get another superstar player to make this a top-heavy team. And the bench, again, don't get me wrong, they still played well. And now it was 4 of maybe top 20 or top 30 players against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. So it really did seem unfair for the most part. But again, championship or bust, and Golden State did it. 2 titles in 3 years. Kevin Durant named MVP. What did you see, Tom, throughout this series? it seemed to me that Kevin Durant was clearly the MVP. Yes, LeBron James had a triple-double, but no one on the losing end ever wins the trophy for the Finals MVP, and it had to go to someone on the winning side, and it had to be Kevin Durant because you watch this series, you take Kevin Durant out, there's no question. I think he's the MVP of this series. Tom, what are your thoughts?
Of the series, yes, Kevin Durant was the MVP, especially for the finals. If Cleveland Cavaliers would have won, it would have been LeBron James, no doubt about it. But when it comes down to it, the super team, I want to give my MVP to Steph Curry. He's the one who was able to make this whole team happen because of his pay cut that he actually took. Without that, they wouldn't have been able to sign Durant, who would have been the leading scorer in the finals. And if you haven't seen it, Durant points per game for the finals was 28.5, while Steph Curry's was 28.1. It was close, and Kevin Durant does deserve this, especially all the years that he was at OKC, that he made to the finals but never got it. Risking his reputation of wanting to go to a better team to actually win a championship instead of doing it in Oakland. So, MVP caliber Kevin Durant, who scored 39 points in his first NBA championship, definitely should get the MVP. But in my opinion, Steph Curry should get an MVP finals sooner rather than later because he's been passed over twice, I feel. The first time, Andre Iguodala, I believe, got the MVP in 2 years ago, I believe.
Yep, he did.
Yeah, so I feel like he's being passed over a couple times. He hasn't said that he's the best point guard or anything like that. But I feel like he is the MVP, the MVP behind the scenes. So.
Sure, I mean it's obvious. They're lucky, I believe, because Steph Curry's ankles early on in his career weren't the best, and he was injured a lot. So when they signed him to a 4-year, $44 million contract, that's a steal by this era's NBA of what their contracts are going to be. And Steph's going to be a free agent, I believe, in a year or two. So this is not the end of Steph Curry's earnings. Again, he's going to make max money, or he's probably going to come close. But if they're going to try to maintain this nucleus of Durant, Clay, Steph, and Draymond, they're going to have to take pay cuts, and they're going to have to work. They're going to have to see what works for them as a team to keep the players like Andre Iguodala, to see if JaVale McGee can stay. Zaza Pachulia, whether you like him or not, he was a big contributing factor on their way to the finals. And again, if they're going to try to keep this nucleus together, because it's a great team. And I'm also going to give credit to Mike Brown because while Steve Kerr was out, and of course Steve Kerr, it's a very great team. And while people have said that, yes, you can run this team with anybody, I think Mike Brown managing and getting to them to win their first 14 games in a row before Steve Kerr came back for Game 3, it's just ridiculous, the work that he did. So I'll give kudos to Mike Brown, a coach who's got a lot of scrutiny throughout his career, from Cleveland to L.A., to being an assistant at Golden State, and the job he's been able to do there. On the flip side, I'm going to give LeBron James a lot of credit. Here's the thing. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan in the world. Believe it or not, again, one side or the other, whether you love him or hate him. For me, I'm not the side that didn't like him, but after this series, I respect him a little bit more. Yes, he's 3-5 in the NBA Finals, but he did average a triple-double and had to put the team on his back late in games. And you watch the last 7 minutes of the game, it's just LeBron, and that's it. J.R. Smith, yes, he played well. Kyrie, overall, pretty good series. Kevin Love had some games here and there where he was solid. But LeBron, you saw all he did was just drive to the basket because no one's going to guard him. He is the most unguardable player right now. The most unguardable player, and Kevin Durant's number 2. So it's the two most unguardable players in the game right now going at each other in the finals, and it was amazing to see. Yes, there were blowouts. Yes, it wasn't pretty overall, but this Game 5 was finally lived up to the hype, finally lived up to the expectations that we wanted for a series that we're seeing for the third time in as many years. Now, there's an article that came about a couple minutes ago that just said, even after LeBron's loss, his legacy is intact as Jordan's. And I think it's true. I think LeBron is going to be one of the greatest players of all time. It's no question. I think he's a top 10 player, maybe top 5 by the end of his career. I don't think he's top 5 yet. That being said, I don't think after this series you can ever say that LeBron is the greatest player ever. Look, he's averaged a triple-double. He's great. But again, in order to be considered the best, you have to be at the pinnacle of your profession. And Jordan's been 6-0. Yes, the record is somewhat important. Okay. Yes, and LeBron, congratulations, you made it to 7 straight finals in a row, and that's an impressive feat. But you've run into teams that were better, and also you're one Ray Allen shot away from actually being 2-6. So let's give credit where credit's due, and I give LeBron a lot of credit. That being said, I just can never put him in the greatest of all time conversation. He's one of the greatest, not the greatest. Tom, what are your thoughts?
I am from Chicago. I enjoy Michael Jordan a lot. LeBron James definitely a close second to Michael Jordan when it comes to legacy in the NBA. Although LeBron James's legacy is still being written right now. It's a little difficult sometimes to compare Michael Jordan and LeBron James just because of different decades. Like, it's important to know that Michael Jordan was not as bulky nor tough in the 80s, but then when the 90s came, he bulked up a lot and became a little bit more physical. LeBron James in this league right now, the refs have cracked down and have shown that rough players and stuff like that have no part in the NBA. So we can't really see or compare because it's on 2 different levels right now. That being said, LeBron James making it to 7 finals in a row, winning 2, and is basically an MV caliber player every single season, it seems like. He just can't, as you said, he can't reach that pinnacle. It keeps on eluding him. Like, he gets so close with a championship, an MVP, but then he can't seem to, form a place where he can keep a foothold so that he could actually reach the top of the pinnacle. His numbers were good, especially in the finals where he was averaging a triple-double, which doesn't really happen that much. And I really do want to say that LeBron James right now is one of the best and is the second best all-time right underneath Michael Jordan. And that's probably what I'll have to say. Michael Jordan is still going to be number 1. LeBron James will always be number 2.
No, and again, it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing whatsoever to be the second best. I mean, obviously the goal is to be the best. And yes, 7 straight finals is a great feat. But again, to be considered the best player ever, you're going to have to make it more to the pinnacle and have a better record than 3-5. I'm sorry. And yes, this team was created to be the best team. I mean, you saw you saw Kyle Korver, Darren Williams, yes, a broken down Darren Williams, Richard Jefferson, a lot of J.R. Smith, a lot of key players that on other teams would probably get more playing time than they do now. But because they're all on the same team, it's about managing minutes. And Tyronn Lue had to do the best he can, managing minutes and understanding situations, again, how to play this Golden State Warriors team that he's understood how to play the last two finals. And this year, it just tactically did not work well because of the fact that Golden State is, quite frankly, just a much better team. Starting-wise, the bench slips off a little bit, but it seems that they can take care of their own, and they know exactly what to do.